Good morning and welcome to episode 3 in our brain health series. Today I'm going to be talking about brain health and sleep. Now, a little thing about sleep is that we need to make sure that we do prioritize this because it's not only important for our brain, but it's also vitally important for our body as well. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to be talking about the reasons that sleep is important and what it does for the brain, or what happens when we don't get enough sleep in the brain. We are also going to look at some tips to make sleeping easier and help you prioritize getting a good night's sleep. So what is it that sleep does for our brain? Well, we know that when we sleep, it gives our brain a chance to repair. So one thing that it does is that it has an internal cleaning system. This has only been researched in the last few years and is known as the glymphatic system. So very similar to the lymphatic system for the body, but it's called the glymphatic system. What this does is it helps clear out the toxins that build up during the day. And this happens in our deep sleep. So it's really important that we're trying to get quality as well as quantity sleep when we are sleeping. Now, what do I mean by toxins? Well, what I mean by toxins is that during the day, we do have a buildup of toxins called beta amyloid, which is one of the key factors in contributing to Alzheimer's disease. So we know that when we are getting a deep sleep, it has an important factor on our development of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. So making sure that the brain can remain cognitively sharp. So that's a long-term effect of not getting enough sleep or getting enough sleep, depending on which way you look at it. What does it do in the short term? Well, when we sleep, we consolidate our memories. So we know that if we're not getting enough sleep and not prioritizing it, that our memory consolidation is impaired. We also know that it affects our reaction time if we're not sleeping well. So we're not on the ball the next day. It makes decision making a lot harder and thinking not as clear, especially if we do have any ongoing issues with our brain. When it comes to the brain in concussion, we know that getting your sleep corrected can be one of the best ways of healing the brain post a mild traumatic brain injury, because it helps repair any damage that's happened to the brain itself. And unfortunately, often post-concussion, sleep is affected. There's lots of things that the sleep helps with the brain. We also know that you're stronger when you get sleep because your muscles are firing more effectively, your language is better, and your reasoning and your emotions are better when we've had a good night's sleep. So when we talk about sleep, what should we be getting? We should be trying to set ourselves up for a sleep opportunity of 8 to 9 hours a night. And that can be difficult, especially in older age, because there are processes that affect our sleep. Or if you've got an ongoing neurological condition, it can make sleep more difficult. But it's still important to try and prioritize it. So what can we do to prioritize our sleep? Well, one really important thing is making sure we get enough sunlight, because this affects our melatonin levels and our cortisol levels and how we actually go to sleep. So trying to get enough daylight into our body and especially into our eyes, so it needs to be unrestricted outside daylight, can really help with getting to sleep at nighttime. The same can be said of exercise. Doing some exercise during the day can make your body tired, so you get to sleep. And when we think about exercise, we don't want to do it too close to bedtime, because that can increase the adrenaline systems and make it harder for us to go to sleep as well. It's important that we have routine, so thinking about regularity, making sure we're trying to get to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time each day can help get our body into that natural circadian rhythm for sleep. We also can help ourselves by having a regular bedtime routine. So whether it's washing your face, doing some stretches, doing some meditation, having a hot drink or a shower, these are all things that can kind of help set yourself up for sleep. If you're doing it regularly and keeping in a routine, it signals to your body that it is time for sleep. We need to think about what we are drinking. Both alcohol and caffeine can affect our quality and quantity of sleep. We recommend that you don't drink anything caffeinated after 12 o'clock midday because caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours and a quarter life of 12 hours. So that means that in 6 hours time, you still have half that cup of coffee in your system. When you're trying to go to sleep, if you drink it after midday, and can really impact what you do, especially quality-wise. And alcohol seems to disrupt the quality of our deep sleep as well. You may not feel like you wake up, but you don't get as restful night's sleep. And then thinking about screens, we want to avoid any blue light screens about an hour before bedtime because this can impact the melatonin production, and it's been shown that this will delay the onset of sleep when it's been studied. If you do need to use screens, you can do things like using a blue light filter if you really have to, or using blue light glasses because this can help with sleeping. So just a couple of other points about sleep and the body. Just remembering that sleep is really good for reducing blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health, which will protect our brain. It also has an increased risk of depression and anxiety if you're not getting enough sleep. And it affects our weight as well. So we know that when we don't get enough sleep, it affects our hunger hormones, and we increase the release of ghrelin, which makes us eat more, and often we'll be craving things that are high in energy to give us that energy, which can lead to more inflammation in the body and more inflammation in the brain. So here's some tips about why we need to prioritize sleep. Think about what you've been doing and how your sleep has been affected. We haven't touched on specific sleep disorders and things like Parkinson's today. That's a whole other topic in itself, but everybody should be trying to get enough sleep so they protect their brain. Have a good day, and hopefully this was helpful. I'll post some links to some blogs we've written with some more explanations in the comments to help if you want to read some more stuff. Okay, have a good day.